Next up is our shape tools, which is under part 1, drawing lines and shapes. The shape tools are used to draw closed paths. The shape tools include the rectangle tool, the rounded rectangle tool, the ellipse tool, the polygon tool, and the star tool. Click and hold on the rectangle tool icon in the tool panel to select the tool from the flyout menu. And that is right over here. Here's our rectangle tool. We'll left click. We'll see our group of tools here. And we're going to start off with our rectangle. So shapes can be drawn in two ways. We can click and drag out the shape to the size and proportions desired. Holding down the Shift key constrains rectangles and rounded rectangles to squares and ellipses to circles. Holding down the Option key draws from the center out. It's handy for drawing concentric shapes. Click once on the artboard to see an options panel for the selected shapes. Enter the desired dimensions and other parameters and then click OK. The shape will appear on the artboard and can be moved to the desired location. So we're going to draw each of the following here, and hopefully we'll go slow so you can follow along, but we're going to knock them out and you'll see the different shape tools that we can use to create all these different shapes. So we have our rectangle tool selected. I'm going to left click, hold, and drag and create just a random rectangle. Now again, if we hold the Shift key while we click and drag, we will confine that to a square. We'll restrain that shape to a square. So I'm going to do that. Oh, I let go of the Shift key too soon, and then it took away my constraint for the shape, and so now I have a rectangle. So I just want to get rid of that. Press Command Z, and then I'm going to go ahead and make it again. Remember to let go of your left click first and then your Shift. Next, we'll do our 2" by 1" rectangle. I'm going to create a rectangle, and as you see in the little window to the right of my cursor, it tells me my width and height for it. So I can kind of use that to guide my rectangle to a 2" by 1", and that can work for the most part, but we might just be slightly off. To get an accurate 2" by 1" rectangle, what we want to do is after we created our shape, and it is selected here, we're going to go to our properties, and in our properties it will tell us what are some of the things that we can do or manipulate with our shape. For our 2" by 1" rectangle, all we want to do is make it 2" by 1". So our width is 2 inches. Our height, which we thought was an inch, is actually 0.999. We want to change that, so we'll click in there, press 1, enter, and then our rectangle will be a 2" by 1". There wasn't much change there, so I'm just going to show you. If we change this to 3 inches, I'm going to press 3, watch your rectangle as you press enter, and you'll see the changes being made. Again, if you want to make a step back within your document, press Command Z, and we're back to our 2 inches. So after we created those, next step is to create an ellipse. Our ellipse is underneath our set of tools here. Go to our ellipse tool, left click and drag just like we would for a rectangle, and there we have an ellipse. Like our square, if we constrain and hold down Shift and left click and drag, we can create the circle. Just like with our 2" by 1" rectangle, we're going to create a 1" circle, and we'll make the adjustments by going up to our properties. The difference here is that we need to make sure that our width and our height are the same, or else we're going to have an ellipse. So to do that, we are going to turn on the width and height proportion. So with it off, you'll see a little slash through it. With it on, it'll look like a little link here. So if I change my width, it will change my height. So we want a 1" circle, so I'm going to put 1 in, and it'll change my height to 1, and now we have a 1" circle.